The Black Star Dragon Ball saga could have been something special. It had all the ingredients for greatness: a bold premise, a return to galaxy-spanning exploration, and the fusion of Dragon Ball's charm with Z's intensity. But somehow, the execution didn't land. Let's break it down. Things actually begin on a high note. Goku is seen training with Uugo, finally following through on the promise made at the end of Dragon Ball Z. Fans waited years to see this moment. Goku mentoring the reincarnation of Kid Buu, trying to mold him into a defender of Earth. But even here, the cracks start to show. For some reason, Goku never transforms. He stays in base form the entire fight, and we're left wondering why. Wouldn't Uugo's growth be better showcased if he could keep up with a Super Saiyan, even briefly? Instead, we don't really get a sense of how far he's come. There's an opportunity to deepen Uugo's character and raise the bar for GT's power scale right out the gate, and it's skipped over. It's not enough to drag the series down, but it still would have been cool to see. Then, out of nowhere, the Pilaf gang shows up. Now, I actually like this. It was a solid throwback to classic Dragon Ball, those goofy villains who somehow never died. It was ridiculous, sure, but oddly satisfying. What wasn't satisfying was how they somehow stumbled upon the Black Star Dragon Balls, these ancient, ultra-powerful artifacts that not even Dende knew existed. It might sound weird to some people, but the concept behind the Black Star Balls is undeniably cool. These are pre-split Namekian relics, created before Kami and Piccolo became two separate beings. It rewrites what we thought we knew about the Dragon Balls and hints at a much deeper cosmology in the Dragon Ball universe. When Pilaf accidentally wishes Goku back into a child, fans were divided. On one hand, it felt like regression. On the other hand, it was a bold creative choice. Kid Goku had certain energy and charisma that adult Goku lacked, and since he kept all his strength, the stakes remained high, at least on paper. Unfortunately, GT never fully committed to exploring what it meant for Goku to fight as a child again, especially once his powers were conveniently nerfed by plot when necessary. Wait, don't scroll past this. What I'm about to show you gets you free legendary heroes and a crazy starter pack. You're definitely gonna want to check this out. It's Raid Shadow Legends. What stands out to me is how deep it is. You've got campaign battles, clan bosses, dungeons, PvP, and that's all got AAA graphics and cross-platform play. My favorite faction? Definitely the Sylvan Watchers. They live in this overgrown jungle called Mistwood, and their champion designs are wild. Living trees, plant-covered warriors, it's like nature fought back and got OP. Here's a few Sylvan champions I really like. They each have unique skills and designs that go hard in any fight. And yeah, I wish I had these when I first started. Here's what you get if you use my link or scan the QR code on screen. The epic champion Kellan the Shrike from the Sylvan Watchers. You'll hit level 15 to unlock Uugo, one of the best supports. And when you use the code TreeHugger, you'll get the legendary champion Green Warden Ruark, who, you guessed it, is also from the Sylvan Watchers. That's 3 powerful champions free, but only if you're a new player and use my link below or that QR code. And there's more. In addition, both new and existing players can redeem 2 more promo codes packed with useful in-game resources. Check the description for those. Come join me in-game under the name Justin's Den and hop into my clan, also called Justin's Den. Let's build a squad, and thank you to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. Anyways, we check in with Pan, who's now about 10 years old and determined to prove she's not just a sidekick. In theory, this is a great idea. She's Gohan's daughter, Goku's granddaughter, and a hybrid Saiyan. There's a ton of potential here, but instead of growth and complexity, we mostly get whining, impulsiveness, and unnecessary interference. It's not that Pan's presence was the problem, it's that she was written inconsistently. Meanwhile, we're reminded that the rest of the family exists: Gohan, Videl, and Chi-Chi. Then King Kai hits everyone with a bombshell. The Black Star Balls are cursed. After a wish is made, they scatter across the galaxy, and if they aren't collected and returned to the originating planet within a year, that planet explodes. Now this is genius. It raises the stakes without introducing a villain. The setup practically writes itself. So who volunteers to help Goku? Gohan does. Goten gets ready, though reluctantly, and then we get Goku, Trunks, and Pan. Why? Because Pan hijacks the ship and launches it early. It's hard not to feel this was forced. Goten was perfectly positioned for a real arc. Gohan could have finally stepped back into the action. Even Vegeta, if roped in, would have made this trip more dynamic. Instead, we get the Z-Fighters B team, and it immediately limits the storytelling possibilities. The trio doesn't have enough contrast to keep things engaging. Pan acts reckless, Trunks plays babysitter, Goku plays dumb. Over time, it just gets repetitive. Before they even leave Earth, there's this bizarre filler moment where 2 guys scientists try to kidnap Goku. It lasts maybe 30 seconds, but it's pointless and awkward. It's a reminder of GT's uneven tone, part comedy, part space adventure. Now let's talk about Vegeta. The man shows up with a mustache and an aura of suburban dad energy that nobody asked for. We know GT wanted to show a tamer, more domestic Vegeta, someone who's embraced his Earth life, but this was too much. Fortunately, GT would course correct later, but first impressions matter, and this one was brutal. Moving on, the B team's first stop in space is planet Emeka. Emeka introduces Don Key. Yes, you heard that name right. He's a tyrant who taxes his people into poverty and uses Goku's crew for target practice. The gang gets grounded, robbed, and tricked. It's a weird start, but there's one shining moment: Ledgic. Don Key's enforcer, Ledgic is sleek, powerful, and surprisingly noble. His fight with Goku is short, but it's intense. He's the first worthy opponent in GT, and his quiet honor code makes him interesting. And just like that, he's gone. Never appears again. One of the saga's best new characters, wasted. Oh, and there's no Dragon Ball here, like at all. The whole planet is a red herring. Next is planet Mamasu. Everything here is oversized. Giant trees, giant animals, even a giant tooth with a Dragon Ball stuck inside. It's silly, but enjoyable. Pan dresses up as a bee, gets kidnapped, and Goku performs a tooth extraction via Kamehameha. It's pure Dragon Ball absurdity, and for once, it actually works. Then there's planet Gelbo, home of Zunama, a monster with an ego and whiskers that cause earthquakes. He demands a bride in exchange for peace, which is unsettling. Trunks dresses up as a woman, which is really weird. They try to bait him, and ultimately the big twist is that Zunama wasn't the problem, the volcano was. It's another goofy pit stop, but at least the group gets a Dragon Ball. But then we meet the Para brothers. These guys are space dancers who hypnotize their enemies with synchronized moves and disco lights. Goku, Pan, and Trunks fall into their hypnotic nonsense, and it's just bad. The choreography is cringe, the humor falls flat, and it's the kind of scene you pray your friends never walk in on. The Para brothers lead them to planet Behei, where the crew navigates a wormhole-like world filled with traps. What makes this stop worse is that Goku and the group are nearly killed off by giant worms. It feels more like filler, but at least it somewhat sets up the next real stop. Planet Lude. Planet Lude is where GT tries to go dark again. Pan and Giru get separated. Pan turns into a doll, and we meet Muchi Muchi, a literal whip who fights by turning into a larger whip. It's not as cool as it sounds. Things escalate when doll Taki appears. This guy is uncomfortable. He's obsessed with dolls, especially Pan, and the whole vibe is just unsettling. He nearly undresses her in one scene, a choice that should have never been storyboarded. Luckily, the payoff to all this is Lude, a giant mechanical deity that absorbs people and stores them inside himself. The design is actually solid. The idea that victims still exist in a weird pocket dimension is eerie. The way to defeat him, attacking an internal and external weak point simultaneously, is clever. But the final moments, Goku and Pan reciting a nursery rhyme to win, that part's rough. After that, they head to planet Rudees. It's mostly character building here. Pan feels underestimated, so she storms off. Eventually, she bonds with Giru, who's been mostly comic relief up until now. It's one of the saga's more emotional turns, and it gives Pan a little more depth. Goku and Trunks start to see her as a teammate, not a burden, which is honestly really heartwarming. Then, finally, we get to planet M2, Giru's homeworld. Here, the stakes rise. Giru turns traitor. The Sigma Force is introduced. Pan tries to play the hero and actually holds her own. The Sigma Force itself is more style than substance, but they have a unique hook. They analyze and adapt to their enemies' moves. It makes for better choreography and a more tactical feel. Pan fights one of the members and wins through raw anger, but this should have been her awakening as a Super Saiyan. Instead, it's another missed opportunity. Enter General Reildo. Now we're talking. Reildo's intimidating. He's got transformations, technopathic abilities, and he's said to be stronger than Majin Buu. He fuses with the planet itself, reshaping the battlefield. Goku finally goes Super Saiyan again, and it feels like GT is finding its rhythm. But unfortunately, that's short-lived. Pan interrupts the fight. Goku gets distracted. Reildo wins. The team is captured. Just like that, the tension vanishes. And then the biggest twist of the saga hits. Reildo was working for Dr. Mew, who was working for Baby, a Tuffle parasite with revenge on his mind. Even in his initial appearance, Baby came off as a massive threat. He plays dead, infects Dr. Mew, and begins his mission to conquer Earth and eradicate the Saiyans. He's a slow burn villain, and it's in these final moments of the Black Star Saga that we see GT's long game come into focus. But that all said, what are we left with? The Black Star Dragon Ball Saga is messy, uneven, and full of missed potential. But it's also important, emotional, and entertaining. It sets the foundation for GT's best arc, and it dares to be different. It's safe to say that in its chaos, there are flashes of brilliance. It wasn't the worst start. It just needed more focus, better pacing, and a stronger grasp of what made Dragon Ball special in the first place. Less filler, fewer creepy doll guys, and maybe, just maybe, a Super Saiyan Pan. But let me know what you think. Was the Black Star Hunt underrated, or was it doomed from the moment Goku turned into a kid? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every one. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a breakdown. And don't forget, click my link in the description or scan the QR code to get your free epic and legendary champions. That's an insane deal for new players. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.